The invasion was on Sunday, April 1st. It was Easter Sunday, as a matter of fact, 1944. And so it went like it had been rehearsed. There was no opposition. There was no firing of any degree. And so the American troops went ashore and started moving inland. And it was discovered later that the Japanese plan was to let them come in, then cut off their escape, and then take care of them up in the hills and so forth. And so 6 days after the invasion, we got orders to go up to a little island called Ieshima, which was about 40 miles north. We were told there was going to be they were going to invade that island, and the Marines were coming up to take care of it, and we should sweep the beaches and so forth and so on. And we went up to do that, and it was a perfectly routine assignment. And then about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, this being a Saturday afternoon, the Saturday after the invasion, a couple of Japanese planes showed up. And pretty soon lots of Japanese planes showed up. It happened to be the first mass suicide attack coming down from Honshu, and we were 40 miles north of the fleet, so we were kind of a doormat. And we didn't know what was going on, except the sky was full of Japanese planes. So the first one in hit our ship, and I was going up the ladder to the gunnery director when the first one hit, and big flash, big explosion, lots of flames, and so forth and so on. It had hit up forward under our main battery and knocked that out, and then the Emmons, my old ship, came over to give us cover. And the guys on my old ship were yelling at me, "Great gunnery officer you are, the first plane in nailed you." And then they started working over the Emmons. And during the course of the afternoon, the Emmons was hit by 5 and was sunk that night. We took 3 more, but we stayed up. And there wasn't much left of the ship, but it stayed up. And then they...
Did you watch the Emmons sink? Could you?
No, it was after dark. It was after dark that it was sunk. As a matter of fact, they sank it themselves. But it got dark. One of the things that had happened, one of the planes went into what was called the CIC room in the main structure, of the superstructure of the ship, and blew up through the 3 decks above, taking out the communications room, the whole thing, and the bridge. So we had no controls, we had no radar, we had no radio, our forward battery was gone, we had 1 5-inch gun still working on the stern by hand, and some 40 millimeters left, and that was it.
You must have had a lot of wounded folks at this point, and...
Yeah, we did. We had also a lot of guys we had fires aboard, of course, and a number of the guys were forced to jump overside, and a lot of them were picked up later that night. But then they sent some people up from the fleet looking for us, and they reported. We could hear them on the radio because we had one Army-style field radio, which could receive, but we couldn't send anything on it. And we could hear the other ships who were searching for us, and they said they found Easy Money, which was the code for Emmons, but they're going to sink her, and we can't find the Rodman. And
so you could hear all that.
We could hear it, but we couldn't respond. And so we just, as the night wore on, our other ships retreated down to the home base, and we groped our way down without any radar or without anything else. And I mean, the whole thing is so crazy. None of it makes a lot of sense. But finally we got down, found the harbor. We had a 10-degree list to starboard. We had a hole through the forward part of the ship you could drive a Mack truck through, in one side and out the other, and the water was just washing in and out. The after third of the ship was also underwater, so the steering mechanisms back there were out. We got off the outside of the staging area, and they sent a boat load of officers out to look at us because we were asking to come in, and they wanted to examine the ship. And unbelievably enough, they found in the wardroom passageway a 200-pound bomb, which had been dropped by one of these planes but hadn't detonated.
Hadn't exploded? Oh, my Lord.
So what do we do with this? So we managed to wrap it up in towels and things and eased it along the deck, and this very officious officer from the ship that was rescuing us was giving us all orders and said, all right, get it off the ship. And so we rolled it over. He said, you see the markings on the side of that? It says it has only a nose fuse. It doesn't have a tail fuse, so the nose is gone. It's perfectly safe. So we rolled it over, and as it hit the bottom of this boat that had drawn up alongside, it revealed some other characters on the back of the bomb, and he said, don't touch it. There's a tail fuse in there, too. But it didn't go off happily.